Hey everyone, I wanted to share a quick devotional thought, and this thought occurred to me. So, everything I'm about to say to you, I want you to understand I'm not trying to preach and talk to you. I first tried to tell myself this devotional because the thought occurred to me one day last week, and I'm just now getting around to share this thought with you. But the thought occurred to me that I could waste my time during this. We'll go and call this a quarantine. It's not technically a quarantine, but most people in social life is calling what we're having happen right now a quarantine. Social distancing, physical distancing, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be simplistic and use the word quarantine, okay? But I don't mean that we're locked in our houses, that kind of quarantine. But so I got to thinking, I could waste my quarantine. And I wanted to share that thought with you. So here's my challenge. Don't waste your quarantine. We don't know how long this is going to last. It could be a few more weeks. I do think it's weeks, not months. But I do want to suggest to you that we run the risk of having this time of social and physical distancing, however many weeks it's going to go. It's already gone, 4 or 5 weeks. So if it goes another 4 or 5 weeks, you're looking at 8 to 10, 12 weeks. So when this is over, and we'll look back and be like, wow, that was something else, huh? Yeah. Hope we don't do that again. But I hope that, myself included, we can look back and say, you know what? That was not fun. That wasn't always enjoyable, maybe never enjoyable. But maybe, just maybe, that's what we needed in our lives, especially spiritually, to get us in a quiet place, a time where all the hobbies, all the sport events, all the sporting practices, all the school activities, all of the extracurriculars, everything was just shut down. And what a beautiful opportunity that you and I have had to really just get in that quiet place and look inside of ourselves and say, what areas of my life have I not been faithful to serving the Lord in? What have I not been doing for God I should be? And I bet if you're like me, it has been a time of realizing during this quarantine era, I've realized that even as a pastor, I get so busy. I have been reading my Bible more so for the purposes of preparing a sermon or a lesson. I have been reading my Bible and reading books about the Bible for seminary. I'm in graduate school. So everything I've been doing that involves church and Christianity and the Bible, I don't want to say 100%. I have had personal Bible reading time, but in proportion to what I could be doing for personal prayer life, personal Bible devotional reading time, personal time of just me and God. That's not what it should be. And this time of quarantine has forced me to say, you know what? I can't waste my quarantine. I need to use this time of where I've been forced to stop and I can't do all the things that we were doing and get closer to God. It's been a time of reflection on how busy I've let myself get, and now I'm not as busy with some things. And so I can take the void and fill that with things that get me closer to God. My challenge to you is this. Let me summarize everything. Don't waste your quarantine. How? Well, ask yourself, like I've had to ask myself, am I still just finding things to get busy with even during a time of quarantine? I have. The temptation is still there. It's shown me that human nature is, even if we had no electronics, no school, no whatever, and it's just us with some sticks and a rock, I promise you, human nature, we would still find a way to get too busy for God, too busy for growing our relationship to God. I think that's that sin in us. It's just our nature. So we have to fight that. So don't waste your quarantine. Ask yourself, have I had more prayer, more of a prayer life now than I did before the quarantine started? If not, fix that. And I'm saying it to myself too. Start now. Start now with, I have a little bit more time because I can't go see my friends. I can't go to ball practices. I can't go to ball games. I can't go to, there's a lot of I can't right now. So fill that with, but here's what I can do right now. I can pray more. I can get in my Bible more. I can just have more reflecting thoughts on how God is still good to me right now and my family. Are you praying more? Are you reading more? Are you studying more? Can you honestly say, you know what, this time of quarantine has allowed me to reflect on God more and my relationship with Him? Your relationship to your friends might not feel as close and strong right now. I understand that. With your boyfriends or girlfriends as well. But I challenge you to say, does my relationship to God right now, though, feel stronger than it has? If not, then start today and focus on that. And don't waste your quarantine. Capitalize, capture this time you have right now and focus that attention on where it should be. Prayer, Bible time, just reflecting on God, growing closer to God. Start with just this simple prayer: God, show me ways that I can grow closer to you right now during this time. Because I promise you, whenever the quarantine officially sort of lifts full blown, it will be as if that very next day the floodgates have opened and you and I will be probably busier than ever. Because we're going to want to go do everything and see everyone that we haven't for the past few weeks. So if you think, well, I'll work on that later. Later will not come. It will not come. So I hope you remember that. I love you all. I pray for you all. And my prayer is that you and I both, we do not waste our quarantine. God bless. May the force be with you.